Wilson also points to a couple of problems that would arise if we accept the reproduction view of marriage regarding the purpose of marriage. First of all, if the purpose of marriage is reproduction, then why do we allow people to get married when they have no interest or plans to reproduce? That is to say, we currently allow opposite sex couples to marry even if they explicitly say they do not want children. They do not want to reproduce to have children. We also let people get married even if they are not possibly able to reproduce. For instance, if someone is sterile or infertile, some elderly couples are not able to reproduce. And nonetheless, we let all of these opposite sex couples marry regardless of whether or not they wish to or are able to reproduce. If we accept the reproduction view of the regarding the purpose of marriage, we ought not let these opposite sex couples marry. Wolfson is arguing or pointing out that that's an absurd conclusion. Of course, we ought to let these opposite sex couples marry. And what that shows is that the reproduction view of marriage is not satisfactory. Another problem with the reproduction view, according to Wolfson, is that it makes no sense to say that, on the one hand, same-sex couples who have a healthy relationship, who are, intelligent, caring, loving people, that they cannot marry. But on the other hand, opposite sex couples who do not have these characteristics can marry. For instance, in our society, we would allow we would allow two drug addicts to marry so long as they were opposite sex. We allow two people to marry when they've met on a reality television show and they've known each other for a few weeks, and then we say, oh, you're a male and a female, you're allowed to marry. But if you are two men or two women and you've been together for 10 years, 15 years, right? You've adopted children together. In our society, we say you're not allowed to marry. And the reproduction view supports this distinction, that two people who know nothing about each other can get married just because they're opposite sex, but two people who have a stable, loving relationship, a healthy relationship, cannot get married because they are of the same sex. This is, again, Wolfson is arguing, an absurd conclusion of the reproduction view. Therefore, we should not accept the reproduction view. In contrast, we should accept the relationship view.